Before I dive into the MLB The Show 24 Legends trailer, I want to give a quick shout out to Akira Toriyama. May he rest in peace. One of the godfathers of anime, and not if not the godfather of anime. Um, just Dragon Ball is one of my favorite shows, and he already is missed across just pop culture in general. You have seen the outpouring of support, and this is just my contribution to commemorating someone who really helped shape my childhood. So rest in peace, Akira Toriyama. MLB The Show 24 has finally got its Legends trailer, and it was only 30 seconds. Not a whole lot of time to really dissect a lot of things, but we do have some new announcements for Legends, and I want to pat myself on the back because I did end up getting some of these right. Players are some that we've already seen, like we know about Tony Stone, Josh Gibson, and we know about Buck Leonard with storylines. We know about Paul O'Neill and Bernie Williams going to be making appearances in the Jeter moments. Andrew Miller is the first legend that we see that was announced for this trailer. Andrew Miller is one of the most dominant left-handed relievers of all time. I would say I had a chance to be able to watch him before he really rose to his prime. Teams like the Yankees and Cleveland. He was a starter / a reliever for the Red Sox, and he was on the 2013 championship team. Retirement of Zach Britton, I think it was more of you kind of anticipated that SDS was either going to bring Miller in or they were going to try to retain Zach Britton somehow. MLB The Show has kind of a restriction on really good left-handed relievers. It's usually the same, maybe 3 guys, which is like Aroldis Chapman, Billy Wagner, and Zach Britton or Andrew Miller, a combination of those guys, and then John Franco, who made his way into the game in previous years. So I feel they wanted to kind of keep that certain number of left-handed relievers. I hope they can get Zach Britton. I even remember when Dan Plesac was in the game, and I was hoping that he would probably find his way back just to bring in more lefties into the game. Another is Richie Sexson, and a lot of the players that were here had to actively go on Baseball Reference, and that's the opportunity I get with MLB The Show, is that they are just in sports games in general. You learn more about the game, and you learn more about players who were a part of baseball or just a part of that particular sport. And a player like Richie Sexson I've never heard of, so I had to look on his Baseball Reference page, and this dude was an absolute monster when he played for the Brewers. For those who don't know Richie Sexson, this guy in 2003 finished 12th in the MVP voting with 45 home runs and 124 RBIs, and he had a 140 OPS plus, and he finished 12th, and I think that was absolutely insane. He played in all 162 games. Like, this dude was an extra base hit machine, and it seems like his stats should reflect that. And I'm looking at this from a Diamond Dynasty perspective, of course. So I think this dude is going to be just filthy, or at least like his stats are probably going to be like he has end game potential stats. But like that's just nuts to me that you have a 45 home run, 125 RBI season, and you finish 12th MVP voting. I didn't know who Richie Sexson was, but now I'm like, how have I not heard of this guy before? Like, another was Rich Aurelia, and he is famous for the San Francisco Giants days. I believe he may have actually been he was on the 2002 Giants team that made it to the World Series, and it seems like he had a lot of his best seasons with San Francisco. His 2001 season was the best season of his career. He batted .324, had 37 home runs and 97 RBIs. And I'm reading off, like, seeing players that are more synonymous with just one team is awesome. And I don't think we always need like that heavy hitter Ichiro and A-Rod. Those guys are great to have, but also you have to fill out not necessarily collections, but you want to add in as many players as you can. So I'm not mad at them bringing in players that people may not be aware of. Somebody I am aware of is John Kruk. I remember John Kruk as a commentator for MLB 2K and back in those days, and I hope this is actually a precursor to maybe having him a part of like the MLB The Show like commentary team, because I always felt like the commentary in 2K was really good or really enjoyable. I wouldn't want to turn it off or lower it, and I think he added tremendous insight into the games when I was playing. And that's just cool to see him back in. Like, as a player, he's synonymous with Philadelphia. Philly fans are going to be in an absolute uproar in a good way. Yeah, like even if his cards aren't going to be like the best, not every card or not every player that finds their way into MLB The Show needs to be a 99 overall or whatever may have you. All right, the big one, I would say one of the two big ones I would say is Johan Santana. I think he could very well rival like Randy Johnson and like Clayton Kershaw and some of those others, and even John Donaldson, excuse me, being one of the best lefties in the game, or just maybe one of the best pitchers overall in the game. And yeah, and I think that's one of those players that people were clamoring for a long time, and the fact that he's making his way into the game, I think it's gonna be fantastic. I look at this trailer, I always look forward to something like this, and I don't think they're done. I think they haven't shown their hand entirely. The real question is like who's gonna be the collection rewards, because usually the 99 overall that you do collecting all of MLB is more or less the headlining legend of the new legend class that comes into the game. Like last year you had Derek Jeter, and I believe the year before that Gary Sheffield made his way into the game. He was behind I believe the National League collection, or he might even have been the Endgame collection. I'm not entirely sure. I know Randy Johnson was the Endgame collection, I believe, for 22. Rafael Palmeiro, he's another one. From this trailer, it's a lot of first basemen and corner outfielders, but a lot of guys with power. Palmeiro, he was part of the steroid era, and this dude had many 30+ home run seasons, and having him in the game, I can imagine that it's going to make a lot of Orioles fans and a lot of Rangers fans pretty happy. Adrian Beltre is the second one I wanted to address when it came to the heavy hitters. We kind of anticipated that Adrian Beltre was going to make his way into the game, going into the Hall of Fame this year, and obviously being in the promotional material for the cover athlete reveal of Vladdy Jr. Something I would want everybody to understand: for the pre-order packs, if you're going to be ending up pre-ordering like the digital deluxe version of the game, you're going to have the opportunity to at least play with one of these new legends just right off the bat, because that's usually how they go about it. SDS, in the case when the new games come out, they give out those pre-order packs so you can get your hands on one of the legends for day one, especially them going back. And I feel a lot of these players are going to get a lot of runtime and a lot of burn on a lot of teams. So hopefully with the reintroduction of the power creep, it kind of sheds more of a light on those players that get like lower overalls. And just the first few weeks of the game, whenever everybody's starting back from square one, is always just a fun time. But being able to pick either somebody like Adrian Beltre or Johan Santana or Rafael Palmeiro, and like just others like Tony Oliva. I don't even think I mentioned Tony Oliva. He's going to be in the game, one of the best players in Twins history. He played alongside Rod Carew for a majority of his career. Great that they were more or less, what I learned from the trailer is that they really tried to diversify like the eras they were bringing guys in. They brought some players from the steroid era. They brought a couple players from more or less the modern era, like Adrian Beltre, and just players that like most of us may remember watching in real time. And even going back even further, I don't think they're done, but I do think this is a step in the right direction. I really did enjoy the Legends trailer. Only 30 seconds is pretty it's pretty light, but also it's more or less, it's probably just to get the replay value and be able to dissect it and everything. So I would say I wouldn't be surprised if we see some more Legends as early as the Diamond Dynasty reveal stream, or going into the year with new Legends probably getting revealed throughout the year, like they did that with Larry Walker a few years back. Of course, I'm excited to kind of be able to learn more about the players that are coming in and be able to kind of get a better idea of how my team's going to start shaping up, because I'm getting the digital deluxe edition. It's going to be my first year playing on Xbox, so it's going to be real interesting to see how my team works out. I really hope that MLB 23 was a wake-up call for them to really work with a chip on their shoulder to make MLB 24 the best it can be.